From beating the Miami Heat mascot within an inch of his life to knocking out the Italian DJ, Francesco Facchinetti, in front of his wife, here are the times Conor McGregor sent people to the ER. The NBA probably regrets ever contacting McGregor for this bit. The fighter strutted in, rocking a fitted red tracksuit that would make any cosplayer turn green. The camera couldn't get enough of him. He's fist-bumping here, laughing there, and his slicked-back hair makes his face barely recognizable. But here's where things started to go wrong. At halftime, the Kaseya Center was buzzing with the energy of the game. Conor steps onto the court to promote his cryotherapy pain relief spray, and he's joined by Bernie, the Miami Heat mascot, sporting a pair of giant boxing gloves. It was obviously a bit, and the crowd was loving it, cheering and anticipating a fun showdown. And then it happens. McGregor and Bernie square up, ready to throw down. Bernie shows off some fancy footwork, but McGregor wastes no time. He unleashed a lightning-fast left hook that connects with Bernie's chin, dropping the mascot like a sack of potatoes. But Conor isn't done yet. He followed Bernie as they both tumbled to the floor and delivered another punch just to seal the deal. But McGregor was full of adrenaline and in his element. He ran behind the scene as they were dragging the limp body of the mascot off the court. And what does he do? He starts spraying Bernie with his cryotherapy pain medicine. I mean, you gotta give it to him. He does have a wicked sense of humor, but poor Bernie was out cold and was rushed to the emergency room for some serious medical attention. It was straight up bizarre, and given McGregor's sketchy past, people are wondering why law enforcement hasn't taken any action. People on Twitter couldn't wrap their heads around it, and said that, sure, it was a nice bit at first, but McGregor has had so many run-ins with the law involving violence. How in the world is he still allowed to roam freely in the US? Same question here, buddy. And then another Twitter user asked why McGregor isn't being charged with assault. I mean, they have a point. If Miami Heat really wanted, they could have arrested him easily. McGregor really threw some hard punches instead of holding back. And the worst part? They just let him stay after the whole thing instead of kicking him out after he punched someone who's part of the organization. That's just crazy. But I ain't surprised. Maybe some of y'all don't remember UFC 223. TMZ Sports dropped a video that had everyone's jaws dropping. In the footage, the fighter went full-on Hulk and hurled a freaking dolly through a window of a fighter bus. McGregor and his crew stormed the Barclays Center like a pack of wild wolves, and they caused such a racket that people were left shaken. And the lightweight contender, Michael Chiesa, ended up needing medical attention due to multiple lacerations. It was mayhem. UFC President Dana White didn't hold back his disgust, calling this incident the most shocking thing that has ever happened in the history of the company. But here's the funniest part. This chaos happened just 2 days after McGregor's teammate, Artem Lobov, got into a brawl with Khabib Nurmagomedov, the headliner for UFC 223. And guess what? Nurmagomedov and his team were on the very bus that McGregor attacked. That could have gone sideways very quickly. Now, you might be wondering what the authorities had to say about this madness. McGregor faced some serious legal consequences for his actions. And at first he was hit with a felony charge, but thanks to a plea deal, he managed to plead guilty to a misdemeanor charge of disorderly conduct. That saved him from doing time behind bars and potentially getting deported from the United States. He lucked out there, but had to face a civil lawsuit from multiple injured fighters. The attack caused cuts from broken glass, and that forced him to withdraw from his fight against Anthony Pettis at UFC 223. It's a real shame when innocent people get caught up in the storm of McGregor's antics. But this next unforgettable incident involved McGregor and Desmond Keogh and was just as wild. Things got wild at the Marble Arch pub in 2019. McGregor, worth a jaw-dropping 100 million euros, threw a punch at poor Mr. Keogh. And guess what? The whole thing was caught on tape, making it a legendary moment in the long list of crazy things McGregor has done. Keogh didn't hold back in an interview later and called the fighter a bully with too much money. The fight went down after McGregor felt disrespected at the pub. Apparently, Keogh was just minding his own business, sitting on a bar stool enjoying a quiet pint with his friend. And out of nowhere, McGregor throws a punch at him simply because he didn't want to try his whiskey. Talk about having a short fuse. But here's the thing, Keogh may have taken a punch, but he wasn't knocked out. Obviously, he needed to go to the hospital after being punched by an MMA fighter, but later, he proudly declared that he could easily take McGregor's punches. After the dust settled, the Irishman faced the consequences. He pleaded guilty and apologized for his actions. He admitted what he did was very wrong and said nothing of this nature will happen again. Sure thing, we'll see about that. His statements don't exactly fill anyone with confidence, not after he's literally been charged with strong-armed robbery against a fan before. This was the time UFC's biggest star found himself in a pickle down in Florida. Apparently, he got arrested for stealing someone's phone while they were trying to snap a sneaky photo of him. The Irish sensation was leaving the Fontainebleau Miami Beach when a daring 22-year-old decided to play paparazzi and capture a snapshot of the notorious fighter. Well, McGregor wasn't having any of it. According to the police report, he slapped the guy across the face and snatched the phone right out of his hand. Then he went full-on Hulk and stomped the poor phone to pieces. Investigators were on the case, and they found out that McGregor didn't just walk away empty-handed. Nope, he just couldn't resist grabbing the battered phone and making a swift exit from the scene. Hey, you can't deny that fan won't remember meeting his idol his entire life, right? McGregor eventually pleaded guilty to disorderly conduct, which earned him some community service, and as part of his sentence, he had to attend 3 whole days of anger management courses. Though I'm not sure if they were of any help, because just a few years later, McGregor broke Italian DJ Francesco Faccinetti's nose with a punch. The poor guy probably had the worst encounter with the fighter and was left with a severely broken nose. Apparently, the punch came out of nowhere and caught Faccinetti off guard. To make matters worse, there were around 10 witnesses who saw the whole thing go down, and they didn't know what to make of it either. The DJ didn't hold back when he shared his thoughts on the matter and said that he was frustrated that he took a punch for nothing. He said that he was extremely scared at that moment because that punch could have landed on anyone in the room, his friends, his wife, or anyone else. That's why he decided to take legal action against McGregor, because this guy is violent and dangerous. Faccinetti and his wife were actually hanging out with McGregor and his fiancée, Dee Devlin, before all hell broke loose. It was supposed to be a fun gathering, but it turned into chaos in the blink of an eye. According to his wife, she thought it was all some sort of joke or prank on them. But then, reality hit her like a ton of bricks. She saw the punch landing on her husband's face, and it paralyzed her with shock and fear. The situation escalated as McGregor, fueled by rage, tried to continue his assault on Francesco. But his friends intervened and held him against the wall, trying to calm him down enough for the couple to escape. She said that the guards turned off the lights so no one would make videos, and she tried turning them on to help her husband, who was kneeling on the floor. But they pushed her away just to make sure McGregor was safe. She desperately tried to help her bleeding husband, but the guards didn't lend a helping hand. Instead, they threatened them and chased them both away. It's no wonder they decided to take legal action after such a traumatic experience. So, from knocking out the Italian DJ Francesco Faccinetti in front of his wife to beating the Miami Heat mascot within an inch of his life, these were the times Conor McGregor sent people to the ER.